A lot of people think quitting porn is just about stopping. But real freedom doesn't start when you stop watching porn. It starts when you change the reason you're doing it. Let's be honest, most of us were taught to quit through guilt. We were told that porn will destroy our life, that it's dark, and it makes us bad people. And for a while, fear might keep you in line. You white knuckle your way through it, thinking, if I slip up, I failed. But fear always runs out. Shame always collapses on itself because you can't build a peaceful life while believing you're the enemy. What I learned both personally and from so many people I've coached is that the real turning point comes when you stop quitting from fear and start quitting from love. Love says, I want to stop running from my emotions. I want to use my energy to build something beautiful. I want to be present, alive, and fully awake in my own life. That's where true commitment begins, not with self-punishment, but with purpose. When you use porn, it's not because you're evil or broken. It's because in some way you learn to escape your emotions instead of feeling them. Maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's boredom, maybe it's stress, shame, or conflict that feels too heavy to hold. Porn becomes the weak release, the off switch. And that's what makes quitting so hard. Because if you take away your escape but don't replace it with connection, meaning, and purpose, your brain will just find another escape. That's why the deeper work isn't just don't look at porn. It's learning how to live fully without needing to run away. That might mean feeling uncomfortable emotions instead of numbing them. It might mean rediscovering creativity, using that same energy that once went into consuming to start creating art, relationships, new habits, business ideas, spiritual depth. When you redirect that energy, quitting porn stops being about loss and start being about transformation. Now let's talk about what commitment actually looks like day to day. Commitment isn't glamorous. It's not that rush of motivation you feel when you start something new. Motivation is emotional. It's the spark that gets you going. Commitment is the steady fire that keeps you warm when the spark fades. There will be mornings you wake up and don't want to do the work. You have days when old thoughts sneak back in, and that's okay. Commitment sounds like, I don't feel like it, but I said I would, so I'm doing it anyway. That's not forcing yourself, that's honoring yourself. Because every time you keep your word to yourself, you rebuild trust, and that trust becomes strength. So don't chase constant motivation. Instead, cultivate steady commitment. Motivation fades. Commitment carries you. And here's something most people miss. Commitment takes time. If you expect to be free in 30 days, you burn out in 10. If you expect perfection, you give up the moment you sleep. But if you commit long term, if you treat this as a process instead of a sprint, you start to see how change compounds. Every urge you process counts. Every time you learn instead of shame yourself counts. Even when you sleep, if you learn from it, that's progress. Think of your mind like a wild horse. You can try to cage it, tie it down, and force it to obey. And maybe it works for a little while. But the moment the ropes loosen, it bolts again. Real freedom doesn't come from breaking the horse spirit. It comes from retraining it with patience, learning to ride with it, guide it, and move in the same direction. At first, it will resist. It buck and pull. But with time and trust, it learns your rhythm. And one day that same wild energy that used to fight you starts running with you. That's what lasting commitment looks like. Not punishment, not pressure, but partnership with yourself. So if you want to take this deeper, here's what I suggest. Take 10 minutes to write down your reason for quitting porn, but make sure it's not rooted in fear or shame. Ask yourself, what am I escaping when I turn to porn? What kind of life am I trying to avoid feeling? What do I want to create instead? Rise from love, from purpose, from the part of you that wants to live fully, not hide. You can say, I want to stop escaping my life and actually live it. I want to use my energy to create instead of consume. I want to grow emotionally instead of numbing my feelings. I want to contribute to a healthy, meaningful life and community. I want to be present for my relationships. I want to feel in control of my choices. Once you have your reason, keep it somewhere visible, your phone, a journal, your mirror. That's your anchor. When the motivation fades, when the urges come back to that reason. That's the foundation that holds everything else up. If you're ready to take this deeper, I put together a free 22-minute training that walks you through my full 3-part system to rewire your brain and leave porn-free for good. You learn the exact framework, design deconditioning, emotional ownership, and cognitive laddering that helps you break free from porn without shame, fear, or willpower battles. So if you're serious about lasting freedom, DM me link to watch the full training and take the next step toward real change.